stream button. I pushed it. I still can't figure out. The whole like when Wirecast. No, my hair's all squished. Actually streaming versus live streaming now. It says I'm live, so there we go. Cool. I have no idea. I'm gonna stay on this window over here, just in case anybody gets on and I can chat something back over, or something. Anyway, so trying something new today. I only have a couple minutes. I gotta go. I'm doing a. What's that called? When you render something? I'm doing a render. A proxy. Thank you, proxy render. And I don't know. Last time there was audio issues syncing with the stream, and although when it encoded the actual file, it was fine. I used to go to Wirecast and turn off my preview. Go back to Facebook or client. So I don't know. I used to do tons and tons of live streaming back in the day when it was a completely different platform. It was a little, way more. It was harder but easier at the same time. Anyway, long story short, let's. I have a couple things I want to talk about on this fine Monday, just while we're waiting for a render. First off, I am super excited for the GH5. There's so many good things that are anticipated for it. There's obviously the stabilization, but again, what kind of came back to me the other night or yesterday was I'm very excited for the 10-bit recording, and to find out what actual codec that's going to capture to is going to maybe dampen my spirits. We'll see what happens, but recording 10-bit inside that tiny body is going to be awesome. I love it. The one thing I keep coming up running into with the GH4 is I do end up seeing that 8-bit banding when I don't necessarily. It's not a big deal because I'm not relying on those files to be pristine per se, because it's not my workhorse camera, but it's going to be awesome to have. I was taking pictures doing some live today, and I was taking pictures of the moon last night. We're going to get to, and just it's amazing. The Lumix series are amazing cameras. GH5 I think is going to be a awesome camera. I'm going to turn off the sound because I'm hearing myself. And I'm going to pre-order it when you can. I don't think that's available yet. There's still a lot of things going on. Okay, I'm seeing myself on the screen. Is that just tacky or what? I'm going to try and do it now. Anyway, we're in my crazy office today. It's really messy, nasty looking. Don't judge me by the office right now. We just moved downstairs again, so we're working on getting it cleaned up. Yeah, okay. If you haven't heard, drones are falling from the skies. Specifically the GoPro Karma drone. Now, not all of them. Just a choice number have had power issues. So GoPro, if you haven't already known, again, this is old news, has recalled all those drones, saying, you know what, let's bring them all back in, figure out what the problems are, and try again. It may have just been rushed to market, trying to figure out, trying to get the product out there as quick as they can with their announcement, as well, kind of along the same lines of that as the Mavic is, you can't get a hold of it. I mean, it seems like everybody has one, and yet nobody has one. I can't get a hold of one. They're waiting. There's certain people that have them. You see them all over the internet, but I know that those are choice marketing people that have gotten a hold of them just to kind of show off the product. It's an amazing product. Although I have seen people have like 3 or 4 now. I think about it. The Jag 35 guy, what's his name? He blogs a lot, but he has. Does he have? No. I'm sorry. Cheesy Cam. They have like 3 or 4 kits of the extra fly stuff. Anyway, as of yesterday, when I tried to order some, I couldn't find any. Let's see. What was I thinking about? Oh, so along the same lines, GoPro 5. I keep coming this close to picking one up. I really want one, but initially, when I'm just stopping down a little bit. Initially, I'm still using my GoPro 4. It's a silver edition, so it's not the pristine sensor. And when I want good audio, I plug a little shotgun mic into it, and it works pretty well. The difference is I keep running into, you know what, this would be so much easier without a case, or this would be better with the 5 mic axis, whatever it is, set up, because I keep using it for more kind of behind the scenes and blogging coverage of stuff, and it's just a super convenient little camera to have with you, and it gets everything. I'm all about keeping it high quality, but at the same time, for me, it's come down to getting it done when it comes to these kind of YouTube videos and just showing what I want to show what I'm doing, and I have so many projects that are back on a hard drive somewhere that never got put up because having to then, you know, have these larger files, or I bring a camera and I never shoot anything because it's too much trouble, it's too big. Even the GH4, when I'm working, trying to move things along. Let's see, anything else I'm thinking about? Oh, Sony announced the new, what is it, the FS7. It kind of feels like a Mark II, but it really should be called the Plus. I've heard some people say. Oh, guess what? The whole point of me. Oh, look at this. Watch this. Wirecast, right? This is. There we go. Do I have? There's the moon. The moon was super bright last night, but now I can show off my desktop presenter. And I was gonna have. Let's see. There we go. So there's the GoPro. I was gonna show this while I talked about it, so it's not just my ugly face the whole time on screen. But there we go. So I had a couple windows open. This is a new thing, learning experience. Let's talk about the Sony real quick. So the Sony FS7, the new one, they are not replacing the current one. They're calling it the 2 or the II or whatever. Again, this guy says it should be called the Plus because there's really just a couple of hardware upgrades. I don't know if you guys are Sony guys at all. I really like the Sony cameras. They're doing a really good job, obviously, with the DSLR type mirrorless ones, but also anything I've ever worked with when it comes to FS5, FS7, F55, all those cameras, they're really good workhorses for any kind of commercially work. I wouldn't call them necessarily cinematic. There's a lot of things that I would do differently, but as an all-around camera, this is really, really on par with, say, like the Canons. If you're not such a Canon guy about the color space. Anyway, this particular camera, they've upgraded it, but they've only done a couple of hardware things, I think, to like the lens mount, and there's a gradient ND filter, which is kind of cool. Not a gradient, but a variable ND filter, which they've added to it. That's a kind of cool thing, but it's not going to affect the price of the original camera. I think they're just offering this one for a little bit more. And then coming back to the last thing I want to talk about, because it looks like my renders are almost done, is, you know, the GH4. This is one of those times where I was taking pictures of the moon last night, and let's see, I'll go back to myself here for a second. So there's the moon, and I was utilizing the GH4. It's my main stills camera right now. I sold my Canon 70 a while ago, and I was going through the Canon 24-70 just on a regular old hardware adapter, shooting the moon, and I got, you know, a good ways out with the 200 millimeter, but what was really cool is you could punch in when it went on the sensor and get this awesome, even closer moon shot. And this was kind of an optimal situation because there was no clouds when I took the shot, and the moon was bright as bright can be. I was out all the way like at 1,000th of a second, I believe, at a maybe 200 ISO, 400 ISO, something like that. And it just looked amazing. That's the best shot of the moon I've got, and I've been loving it. So anyway, that 7200 really was acting more like on the 200 end, the 400, and then even past that, if you're punching it on the sensor, I don't know if it's a double crop on the sensor or what it is going all the way in, but it definitely brings me to maybe even, you know, 500, something like that. And then tonight I'm going to try again. Jared's got a 400 millimeter to micro four thirds adapter, so I'm going to be reaching out to maybe like 800 millimeters, which is kind of cool. I haven't seen anybody's been chatting at all. I don't even know who's watching. It's maybe one person, so that's okay. Again, trying something new, trying to get content up, doing my best to be useful. Gotta go back to my cut now. We were in Texas last week shooting a commercial and doing the post on it now. Don't have any particular shoots coming up right now, but there's always, you know, you never know what's going to happen. So, hope you guys are having fun. I will talk at you later. Excited for the GH5. Any other filmmaking news coming up, we'll talk about it and why it's relevant. Jared and I are going to talk about vlogging and how everybody vlogs pretty soon. That should be a fun podcast. And I will catch you guys later. I'm looking here, not here. I'm working on looking here and not at the screen. Here's my little streaming setup right now. I got the Intensity car, what is it? Shuttle, Black Magic Shuttle, Intensity Shuttle 2, whatever. Some old school fluorescents I built years ago, and then just the messy office. Going to the GH4, I think I have the Lumix 7 to 14 zoom on right now, and a the Sennheiser MK400 mini shotgun on top, and yeah, there you go. That's what's going down. This is a huge projector screen and a huge projector I gotta set up so I can see big stuff on the screen. Alright, now I'm really turning this off because it's time to get back to work. Unless you wanna, let's see. See if my Google Apps crashed on Chrome. It won't load anything on Google, so I gotta reset my Chrome. But I don't want to close those windows. So anyway, now I'm really gonna turn it off.